All right, welcome. This is James Possible, and today I've been taking notes and stuff, and something I'll talk about later. I'm constantly taking notes. I write all the time. But today I want to talk about mindset, and it's important not just in trading, but it's also important in life. And it's a life skill. And let me take my glasses off, I think, for a moment. I don't know. Anyways, personally, I really feel like people make the gurus, if you will, all those great self-help books and things like that. I really feel like they make it complicated, and I really don't feel like it is a complicated subject. Now it's a bit like forex or trading in general, in that, how do they say, it's the hardest way to make easy money? Well, mindset kind of has that same quality to it. It's easy to understand, at least in a conversation kind of way. You know, logically, you can wrap your mind around what's being said and shared. The challenging part is using it, is living with it, you know, applying it to your life. And so I don't know, I'm not sure where this is going to go, but you know, I just want to talk about that just a little bit. One of the biggest challenges I feel with mindset is that I find that a lot of people, how many, I don't know, but in my experience, many people, they wait till they're stressed. They wait till they're in a moment that where their anxiety is high, where their frustration is high, where their anger is high, and they wait until those moments to try to use what they have learned or, you know, recently read about. And the challenge there is the habit that you have in place already. The habit takes over, and so you're typically not going to be able to respond. In other words, in a thoughtful way, be able to slow yourself down and consider what's going on. You know, remove yourself from the emotion of the moment, the drama of the moment. So all the, you know, the reactionary kind of things kick in. Your physical fight or flight response kicks in. So your system's pumping all the, you know, the adrenaline and cortisol and things like that through your system. So you're amped up. You're pumped. You're ready to, you know, you're ready to fight or flight. And so in that moment, that little piece of thought that you have, that you learned the other day, that article that you read, that video that you watched, that conversation you had with a friend, it's there for just like a blink, and then it's gone, because everything that's automatic for you at that point kicks in. And that's the beautiful part of habits, right? We're habitual creatures, humans, we embrace, I mean, our physiology, our mentality, internally, what we do subconsciously, it's all about habits. And it's a beautiful thing when the habit is, it supports you and helps you, supports you in a way that lets you be more effective at, handling life, at handling trading. In this case, we're talking about trading, right? That's why I'm here. My goal, not even my goal, the reason I'm here is to be a full-time trader, period. And there's a lot of there's a lot of potential angst, upset, drama, and things like that kick in, and I'll share some of those because I've had plenty of them. I still have them, right? So the point here is, don't wait until the heat of the moment, because you're destined to struggle in that moment if that's what you're attempting to do. So what is required for mindset, it's something you work on all day long. It's every day. It's a 24/7 thing. And you just got to learn to remind yourself on a daily basis, think about what was important. Write it down. If there was a phrase or a thought that was very meaningful to you, write it down on a piece of paper, on, a little index card, fold it up and keep it in your pocket. That one little simple thought, that phrase. And what that does, you don't even have to pull it out and read it, but just by having it in your pocket, when you touch your pocket, you feel it and it reminds you, oh yeah, that's right. And so if you can keep it top of mind throughout your day and begin to observe others, ultimately yourself, if you can get to where you're observing yourself, then beautiful, you got it, right? Because there's so much that happens once you get to that place where you can observe yourself and become aware of yourself in the moment that things are happening. But if you can just keep that thought active and you're conscious and thinking about it throughout the day, you'll begin to observe it in other people. You'll begin to notice it in yourself. And then at some point, you'll move from noticing and observing to actually using it in little ways, right? So now you're starting to build that habit. You're starting to build that muscle, And that's what it's about. So as you build this muscle, the next time you have this stressful event, a trade moves against you, you move your stop loss, not a great idea. But those things happen, right? Or you don't put the stop loss on. And because you're tired of the stop hunts taking you out, right? You're tired of losing money because your stop losses keep getting hit. Whatever those stressful things are that happen, or you miss that trade, you think, oh my gosh, what was I thinking, right? Run to the bathroom, grab yourself a sandwich, and suddenly 100 pips later, you've missed it. And it was the trade that you were watching, right? Those moments that don't feel so good, right? And they can roll into stress and angst and upset. They become easier to manage, to live through, to experience. The goal here, and this is really important, the goal is not to avoid, and I think this is taught mistakenly and misguidedly, if that's a word. the goal here is not to avoid stress, is not to avoid the angst, the upset, because all those things are a product of just living life. Okay, life is not a perfect thing. We as humans are not perfect, right? So for me, and the approach that I take with people when I'm like working with somebody one-on-one or in a group setting, it's really all about learning to dance with the moment, to dance with the experience, and to embrace what really is happening, what is, not what I think I want it to be, because what I think I want it to be doesn't always really get me to the end, to that final goal. I'm sorry. And the journey to get to that, it's like a price chart. It's up and down. You'll have moments where they throw, the market maker throws that huge pin, right? They come back down, they take out the stops, or they push way up, they take out the stops, and then they activate the pending orders, and then they move against it, right? And then suddenly they're pushing on the margin calls, right? So those things happen in life as well, right? You have an argument with your significant other, whether it's a wife, whatever, a husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. We have all those things. We have those conversations, and so be kind to yourself. Understand it's a process. Don't get mad at yourself because of your upset, because of your anger and your struggle that you're experiencing. Allow yourself to experience it. Give yourself permission to be human, which is imperfect. And the rest of the time, when you're not in that stress, just think about that thought that was really important to you. Maybe there was a thought that I shared, some words that I shared in this that stick out for you, Write them down. Put them in your pocket. Shirt pocket, pant pocket, purse. Keep them with you somewhere that reminds you of that thought. So it's always there, top of mind. And just think about it. I'll add on to this because mindset's really important. One thing I really want to talk about is what I call a meditation hack. And like I said, I call it the meditation hack. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit more because that does have an influence on your mindset as well. But that's not now. So let's just wrap this up. I think that's pretty much it. Just remember, the heat of the moment is not the time to work to become great at your mindset. Your mindset is a process. It's something that you work at 24/7. And so give yourself a chance to work on it when you're not stressed, when you're not frustrated, when you're calm, just doing nothing really special. Just think about the thought that really strikes you when you think about your mindset. And when you have those moments, after the fact, look back at them. Ask yourself, okay, could I have responded to that? Not reacted, but responded or experienced that in a different way. Could I have had a different kind of thought about that experience when I was in the middle of the experience? And if so, what would have changed had I had a different thought? Had I looked at it different? Had I approached it differently? So it's a muscle, like everything else. a habit you want to grow. Right now, if you have a lot of stressful moments, whether they're filled with anger, frustration, it doesn't matter. If you have more of those than you want, that's okay. Accept that, embrace it, and then begin to do the work to build a new kind of habit, because all of those things are habits. All right. Well, this is James Possible, and thank you so much for being here. I'm just really tickled to be doing this, because this, for me, forex, trading forex is huge, and hopefully I can share enough things that will make a difference for you and others as well. Thank you again.